Today in the studio, I got a couple of entrepreneurial kingpins that run around helping companies grow, basically, from the 4DG growth group, right?
Yes, sir. That's
4DG, folks. If you're writing shit down, 4dggrowthgroup.com. You got Matt Coots and Robby D'Angelo. Robby D'Angelo.
Robby.
I ain't got my readers on, bro. It just looks like I knew your name was Robby. That's why I corrected it, but I can't see it. It looks like Bobby to me. Dude, how old are you guys?
I am 37.
Yeah, so you won't need readers for a while.
No.
How old are you?
Just turned 39.
And you guys are out there helping companies grow and expand, scale, shit like that.
Sorry.
You help entrepreneurs who have built something strong scale it. Now, what got you into all this? What's your backgrounds?
So my background is in mental performance coaching.
Mental performance.
Mental performance coaching.
Mindset.
Mindset. A lot of mindset. A lot of people I work with, they have achieved some success, but they know they're meant for more, and they kind of don't know where that roadblock is. They don't know what's keeping them from it. So that's a lot of what I've done, but a lot of that is entrepreneurs, business owners, executives. And then Matt has worked in business strategy, business scaling for his entire adult life.
What's your background?
So it's funny, I graduated high school at 16. I was a little bit of a college dropout.
That's funny. I dropped out at 16.
There we go. There we go. And I actually got into the tech side of things. So I started off 16 to 18. I was basically building and designing websites and things like that with a couple buddies. And then at 18, I got into the insurance industry. Was there till literally the last couple of years is when things.
What kind of insurance?
Senior market. I did property and casualty. I was a second generation property and casualty agent. So did that for a while, a few agencies across different companies. Yeah. And then kind of just got to that point where what I was really doing was building and scaling distribution channels for insurance companies, that sort of thing. And kind of translated into helping companies, entrepreneurs scale their businesses. So.
Where'd you guys live? Where'd you live growing up?
I'm originally from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Biloxi area.
Biloxi, Mississippi. What about you?
Cleveland, Ohio.
So how do you guys know each other?
So we actually met about a year and a half ago now on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Matt was down there for work, and I had just moved back for a consulting contract. So it was weird that both of us, our work brought us to the same area where we met.
And your work is all sales, performance, mindset related. What gives you the right?
What gives me the right?
Yeah.
The shit I've been through. And I am an absolute nerd when it comes to all things change psychology, philosophy, and then just doing this now for over a decade. That's really where the skill set comes in, is a lot of this knowledge turning into wisdom and seeing just people perform over the years. It's been a lot of practice for sure.
What do you think the number one thing most salespeople are doing wrong?
Number one thing most salespeople are doing wrong, what I see a lot of it is they're pushing products instead of asking questions. But a lot of them don't believe in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the biggest thing I see, is they have this interior self-defeating story where they let no's turn into limiting self-beliefs, and then they stop asking.
It's a big one. And you're saying they don't ask enough questions.
Oh, no, we see that so much from entrepreneurs to the sales companies we have worked with, is they try to push products instead of finding a need and then fulfilling a need.
So when you walk into companies, are they looking at you as like a savior? Are you hitting companies that are down and out? Or are you hitting companies that are kicking ass, taking names, and they're just bringing in trainers?
I would say it's most of the companies that are thriving. They're doing well, but they know they're meant for more. They know there's another level that they could get to, and they want to help their human capital get to that next level, which is where we come in, and really empowering people to unleash their gifts in the world.
So by saying that, you basically show them how to make courses? Because like if I'm running a company, I'm not going to hire you to come teach my salespeople how to become course creators and go quit.
I'd say it really just depends on the situation. I think that we have a couple niches. One is helping companies just scale what they're currently doing, working with their companies to be more productive, working with the human capital side of things, working with the business processes side of things. But then you've got this other, side of things in our business, which is helping somebody who wants to maybe monetize their influence, helping somebody that maybe that's their passion. They want to do that. They want to create a course. They want to spread their gift, share that with people. And,
well, we're gonna unpack that a little bit because
Yeah.
coincidentally, Lightspeed's in that business.
yeah,
A little
So I know a little bit about it, and I want to unpack that. But I also want to find out, like, from a business perspective, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs that follow the show. If I want to scale my business, what do you think I should do?
Well, that's the answer is that is always it depends.
Yeah.
I mean, where's your bottleneck in your business? What's keeping you back? Where do you want to be? Do you have clarity in your mission? Do you have clarity in your vision? What exactly are you trying to create? And then you have to look at those things that are keeping you from that. Is it a lack of systems and processes?
Usually,
Oh, a lot of times it is. A lot of times, like, we work with guys all the time that very successful entrepreneurs. And I'm like, hold on, bro, you don't even have a CRM? Like, really? They have no email system. They have nothing going on as far as systems and processes to follow up with their customers or their potential clients. So a lot of times the systems and processes, but then, we also work on the mindset side as well. A lot of these entrepreneurs, they've achieved success because the hard work mentality, I'm just going to push. But when they really uncap their thinking and they really look at the potential of what can be and then start believing they're capable of it, then they start asking for the bigger projects. They start asking for the bigger sales, and they really start pushing against their capacity. So to answer your question, it depends on where's your bottleneck. Is it your belief system? Is it your systems and processes? Like, really, you have to look at it on an individual basis.
Yeah, and there was for like an example of that would be we have a company that they just got a very, very big company. They just got in their space. They just got purchased by an investment company. And so they're going through all of these internal, external changes, bringing in new management, tying in a new corporate culture. And we're actually under contract with them now. We just started a program for it's basically a mindset program, like a 12-week course for some of their member experience. So kind of just helping them get into that different state and optimize where they're at, and start looking for opportunities inside the business to grow. So
a lot of times people use mindset, but other people hear it and I don't know if they grasp it or the importance of it. I know through experience that you won't outperform your own self-image. So a lot of times people ask me, how do I fix or increase that image? And I've got a few ways that I talk about. Of course, I'm no expert at it. I think they just see me. I think in most cases, give me more credit than I deserve when it comes to confidence. People think I'm like the most confident dude walking. Well, it's not that. It's just I know who I am, and I've done enough work to like myself.
That's the key that most people miss.
We'll give that a bomb, even though it was mine.
Most people believe they can think themselves to confidence. And I'm sorry, that's just not the way it happens. You have to act your way to confidence. Confidence is only built through action. And yeah, you can do all the mindset tricks. You can start believing in yourself. You can use affirmations. All that stuff is great. But unless you take the actions, there's no alignment between the things you're saying and what your brain sees to be true. So only once you start taking the actions, now your brain's saying, okay, I am actually capable of that. And you start actually wiring and firing the neurons in your brain, neuroplasticity, to prove to your brain that this is really who I am. And you've actually become to alignment at that point. And that's where true confidence takes place.
That's where transformation happens.
100% through action.
And then people are all elated. A lot of times I get DMs all the time just from people following my social media saying, dude, you're giving away the game for free, man. It's amazing. Like, you changed my life. I'm literally serious. I'm changing their life, they say. And I always reply back, bro, you changed your life.
100%.
I didn't do it. Like, I didn't do shit. I dropped a few nuggets out there for people to pick up, but you picked it up. You applied it. A light bulb came on and you did the work. You have to. If you don't do it, no one's going to. Nobody can change someone's life except themselves. You believe
might have dropped
that?
the initial bomb, though.
Huh?
You might have dropped the initial bomb, though.
Well, again, true, but they call me literally. So if you ask me a question, I think literally on almost all topics. I don't know why. I think I'm simple. I keep shit simple. But to me, I didn't do the work. Like if I just told you, hey, if I were you guys, I might do this, this, and this, and then you go do this, this, and this, and it works, and you give me the credit because I told you what to do. But if you didn't do what I told you to do, it wouldn't have worked. So me telling you didn't do shit, you did the shit that changes your life. See what I'm saying? 100%. You did it. All I did was give you an idea, give you some awareness, or remind you. In most cases, we're reminding people. They already know the shit I talk about.
They do.
Like when I go out on a stage and do a keynote, 8 out of 10 times, they'll say, oh, it was great because, I was funny. I was real. Most speakers are, going out there with some boring presentation. I just talk. But at the end of the day, the reason they do that is because I'm reminding them. And then they give me credit. Again, I don't mind credit. Y'all can keep giving me credit. But at the end of the day, I think people need to realize they're the ones doing it and give themselves more credit. And that's the whole speech half the time anyway. Give yourselves more credit. Like quit thinking you're not worth it. Quit thinking you can't do it. So mindset's very important. So that's good to know. So from mindset, then what? Like if you say fix their mindset first, then what? What would be next?
Well, I mean, anything you do starts with belief. So yes, you're right. Mindset is that, but then you take that mindset and you apply it to the bottlenecks in your business. So now that we have this belief system that we can go really achieve anything, now let's work on the systems and processes. And now let's work on those things in your business, whether it is asking for the bigger business, whether it is hiring people, because that's a big problem we see with a lot of entrepreneurs right now. They're scared to hire people. They're scared to take those jumps to grow their business, because they have those limiting beliefs of, I don't know if I could pay that person, or even I can't find good people. So it's getting people to the point where they're believing themselves through the mindset, but then actually taking the actions at that point to grow their business. And then, just using that Kaizen philosophy of 1% better. So let's focus on, yes, now that we're taking actions, let's be in a growth mindset and learn as we're taking those actions to consistently get better and consistently see the problems in our business, but also consistently see areas of opportunity, areas of growth. What strategic alignments do we need? What partners can we now bring into the business? Where are the avenues we can grow in? But you're right. It starts with mindset, but then it's taking actions to actually align yourself to where you're trying to go, that clarity and that vision of your mission.
So you both have in your bios that you're authors. You got a book? What's it called?
So we wrote The Abundance Theory together. It was one of the first things we did when we...
Well, you guys been busy. It's only been a year and a half.
Yeah.
We've been busy. We've been busy.
I noticed when we met the other day, you shot back a whole diagram. So you guys must have went home and just...
Oh, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but I stole your dry erase pen.
My what?
Your dry erase pen from your boardroom. I was like, I'm going to use this over the weekend. And then I used it over the weekend.
we used the window in our hotel room to dry erase everything out.
Did you bring it back?
I did.
Good. So you co-wrote a book together called what?
The Abundance Theory.
Can people get it on Amazon or where is it?
So we use
it on our website.
Yeah, it's on our website.
That's 4DG Growth Group.com.
Correct.
And what will that book teach a fella or a lady?
So it's more of an awareness book. It's more of we're discussing the things that somebody needs to do. It's not really prescriptive.
Is it free?
Diagnosis. Yeah.
So we give it
away for free.
So it's one of those books that open people's minds and then make them realize they need you.
Correct.
Absolutely.
100%.
That's part of marketing. I tell people, matter of fact, I'm doing a keynote this weekend. Of course, by the time this drops, it'll be last weekend. But I call them kill sets. Like most people are looking for these skill sets. Well, skill sets are fine, but in my mind, if you want to kill it in life, you need kill sets. And so the kill sets, sales, obviously. Mm-hmm. If you can learn and master sales, influence, persuasion, dude, you can either work for yourself or somebody else, but you can sell shit and make tons of money in commission. Marketing, which is more important than sales. And normally I would never say that, but now I've learned if you have nobody to talk to, you can be the baddest closer on earth and there's nothing happening. So you need marketing, which is the ability to drive leads, get attention, shit like that. Personal branding. Personal branding is so important. Like one time I was out on my balcony and a guy says, dude, you sure waste a lot of time making these videos. I'm like, yeah, He says, what do you do it for? I said, yeah, you're building a personal brand. He says, why? Like, that's kind of stupid. So I took out my phone. I went to my stories and I said, hey, I'm announcing a new program. It's called Run Shit by Brad. That was it. I said, it's Run Shit by Brad. It's $10,000. There's only a few spots left. You better swipe up, make it happen. So long story short, 6 people wired me $10,000 within 4 hours. I made 60 grand with a swipe up. And that's why I said the program was just Run Shit by Brad, because I didn't have time to plan one or create one. So it was like, hey, give me 10 grand. I'll give you my cell phone. When and if you need to run shit by me, because a lot of people want my advice, I say, just text me, call me, whatever. It's good for a year. You can call me, text me, shoot me questions whenever you want for a year. Dude, 6 people freaking took advantage of that. And by the way, all of them, well, a couple of them haven't even texted yet. They just gave me 10 grand. I love customers like that.
Yeah.
But that's the power of a personal brand. He said, holy shit, dude, you made $60,000 in freaking 15 seconds. And I said, no, I didn't. It took me fucking 4 years to build that personal brand. It took me 4 years of putting out those videos, all those wasted videos you're talking about. That's the power of a personal brand. So the last one is social media. I mean, I know people that literally can't add music to a video on Instagram.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, how do you do that? I'm like, you don't know how to use the tools that these social media platforms provide. They don't know how to target. They don't know how to retarget. They don't even know what a pixel is. Like, you've got to understand these things, man. You have to master social media. So those are the kill sets: sales, marketing, personal branding, and social media. If you can do those 4 things, dude, you're guaranteed 7-8 figures. Mm-hmm. The question is how big do you want to push it? That's where they come get guys like you to say, okay, now you've done well. Now let's figure out ways to scale that. So if people are listening, mindset I would have to agree with, because without that, you're a little bit stuck. But once the mindset's fixed, what are the fundamental steps to start scaling a business?
So scaling a business, you're looking at...
What does scale mean to you guys, first of all? What does that mean? So, a lot of people say scale, and what does that mean?
It's almost turning into a buzzword, right? So I think that it depends on the person, obviously, but it's taking that person to whatever level of impact they actually want to achieve, and giving
level of impact.
Yeah.
Now, see, again, you're assuming everybody's got these philanthropic goals.
Well,
how about I just want to make a shitload of money?
Then that's the level of impact that you're like. Scaling your income is the same thing as scaling your impact, because income is just a measurement.
Yeah.
So, for instance, you're really good at social media, right? You can generate tons of leads on social media, but what are you doing with that data when it comes in? How are you managing it? That's one of the first things I look at is you're great at creating leads, you're great at marketing, awesome. You've got influence, awesome. How are you going to monetize that if you can't even track your data? So tracking those leads and being able to be like put out a consistent message.
Okay.
Consistency of branding across platforms, all of that. So that's kind of the first thing, is just understanding where they're actually at and what pieces in the framework they're missing.
What would be a next step?
And scaling from there is,
or not maybe not next, but what else?
Well, at that point, what we find a big bottleneck is the systems and processes. Mm-hmm. So, and when I say systems and processes, I mean, okay, well, are you the only salesperson in your company? Or do you need to now hire a sales team? Do you need to outsource your marketing? A lot of it is just expanding your team, or expanding the automations inside of your business, because in most entrepreneurial ventures or most influencers, the owner is the bottleneck. We find so much of people trying to have too much control over their business, and instead of relinquishing a little bit of that control and putting in people, systems, and processes to now take some of the responsibility off their back. So now they have a sales team handling all the sales. They have a marketing team handling all the branding, the social media, and all that, because entrepreneurs, you get to a point, and you know this, where social media is time consuming. So if you're spending all your time social media, you can't be on top of your business and doing everything else you need to be doing. If you're spending all your time on sales calls, you can't be doing social media. So it's looking at those areas of your business that really drive revenue, and then putting in systems and processes there to free you up, to put you back into your zone of genius, which is really where you need to be as the person that created this business, as the person that's really driving revenue. What do you need to be doing to drive revenue? And then putting systems, processes, and people in the other places to support you in doing that.
Does everyone have a zone of genius?
I think most entrepreneurs do.
Yeah.
It's really.
And let's say there's a dude, he just started a landscaping company.
Hmm?
And he just mows lawns and cuts hedges. He's not designing landscapes. He's just mowing lawns, cutting hedges, picking up dog shit. What's his zone of genius?
Doing what a lot of other people don't want to do.
Or being willing to.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut grass.
I mean, it's
I love cutting grass.
No.
I won't do the dog shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
I just like the smell of cut grass. But you guys just touched on, I wrote down before I even asked you the question, my 3. When people say, how do I scale my business? You touched on it, like, how are you tracking your leads? To me, that's technology. Mm-hmm. So you got 3 things, in my opinion: technology, systems and processes, and people, and they all go together.
They do.
If you're not focused on technology and people and systems and processes, you're not going to scale your business. Yeah. You're going to scale chaos. You're going to scale a mess, and you could implode. Oh, yeah. A lot of people ask me, Brad, how come you're not marketing? How come you're not this? Well, I'm a slow learner. I like to learn things the hard way. And it took me a long time. I knew it. This is what I mean by being reminded. Like, I knew I had to do it. I just didn't. But now I have. I'm wrapping up the final points on all my systems and processes. My problem was I was waiting for everybody else to do it. And my zone of genius is, closing deals, thinking up the features that Lightspeed has, marketing, ideas, right? Well, I had to stop and go do every job so I could map out what am I doing in order for it to be duplicated. Then obviously we've got the technology. So now I had to write the courseware. So now when I hire somebody, I can give them a password, bring them up to speed. That's technology. Those are systems and processes. And then those are people. And that's the answer. So keep an eye out on Lightspeed, because a lot of the times people have never heard of us. We don't market. You ever seen a Lightspeed ad?
Nope.
You're about to. You're about to see like shit Super Bowl commercials.
And Lightspeed's the OG too. So
you can say that again.
Yeah.
I started the industry. Most people don't understand. 21 years ago, there was nobody training online except Big Dog Daddy B. I was training people online when the internet first popped out. There was no LMSs. Now there's a bunch of them. But the difference between ours and most is ours is designed to get you to learn what's in it, and the other ones are designed to get you to host the content. Like, here, put it behind this password, let people access it. That's not really learning. Learning is good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. You need all 4 of those things. That's why our system's designed the way it is. Plus interactivity, as you know, from a marketing standpoint, gives you an advantage like you wouldn't believe.
Huge.
So what transitioned you guys from just sales training and these type of things into to the passion to abundance product, which is basically, folks, if you're a subject matter expert, even if you're not, but you know somebody who is, because again, you don't always have to be the expert. You can know the expert, or you can, broker knowledge.
Right.
Correct.
But ultimately, what got you into taking that approach?
Passion of abundance really came out of the influencers and entrepreneurs we were working with that wanted to get in that space of coaching and course creation. And we started coaching them on a one-on-one basis of how to do that. And then over a year of doing that, we put together a system of how you go from idea creation to formalizing that idea, now actually how to build that into a course coaching program. And then the big part of that is, how do I market and monetize that? So it just came from a year of working with people and seeing a need, which is what entrepreneurs do. We saw a need in the market, and we saw a need that people have. And now us just practicing what we preach is we put together a system and a process of how people can now follow this path to do that for themselves, where once again, scaling our own business, we don't have to do the one-on-one coaching anymore. Now, this is a system you can plug yourself into where you're still getting the coaching, but you follow this path, and now you can actually turn your passion into abundance. So
give me an idea of passion, if people are wondering, because again, these are these fluffy words that people use a lot.
Yeah.
Turn your passion. Like if, for example, let's say my passion's fishing. Doesn't mean I'm any good at it just because I'm passionate.
Right. Yeah, I mean.
So why passion? Like my passion's fishing. Show me how to turn it into abundance.
Well, you absolutely can, but are you willing to do the work? I think
let's assume I am.
Okay.
How would I do it?
Well, you become an expert in your craft.
That might take years.
It might.
Is that required?
It's not required, but you have to at least be on that path. Because here's the deal. And when I published my first book, my editor told me this. He's like, Robby, I know you don't believe you're the expert in your field, but you know more than most. So that person that might not be the expert in fishing could still know more than most. And he could teach where he's learning how to become a beginner fisherman. He could teach beginning fishing. So therefore, he has a skill and a passion that he can now share with others. So it's not really about being the expert, but it's about you trying to become that expert and then sharing where you're at with people. Because what we do know is people love being in a community. They love being in a tribe, and they love learning new things. So when we say passion, we use that word because you have to have that to put in the work. You're not going to put in the work to monetize this business unless you have a passion for what you do. And so many people that we run into, they have this feeling inside of them where they want to go do something. They have this like passion buried deep down inside. They just don't have the clarity of how to actually create a business around that. They don't have a clarity of what they could create on the other side of that, which is where we come in and we show them a clear game plan of the step-by-step process of how to go from passion to abundance.
Let me add to that too. There's probably a significant market. So let's say that it's somebody they're passionate about fishing, but they just started, right? There's probably a significant market for that person, of people at least, who maybe they've never fished in their lives. They haven't. They want to go out. Maybe they're going out with their father-in-law for the first time. They don't want to be completely, look like they've never fished before in their life, right? Maybe that's a market for them, right? It's about finding those different mechanisms that they can then utilize. And then as you are becoming better, maybe it's not intro to fishing anymore. Maybe it's intermediate fishing, right? So they actually can create more courses for themselves as their skills improve.
Yeah, it's also based on, maybe if I'm a beginner fisherman, but I know I've fished 50 different spots. Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you from experience what each of those spots, need. The bait to use, the spots to fish in, the rock to stand on. So you can always find expertise that people are willing to and needing ahead of you. That's what I like about it. Because my mission, as you know, is to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who want it or need it. Because I think that's why people fail. They don't have the right info. I've seen businesses go out of business because they didn't know how to market. They didn't know how to close a deal, even if the traffic was coming in. It's unbelievable how many people fail because they don't have the right information. So Lightspeed obviously helps do that. So you guys are doing the world a service if you're helping people package up their expertise and get it out to the world in hopefully a digital format. If they do, obviously Lightspeed's the one you guys want to recommend. So if someone's listening to this and they've been thinking about it, would they go to Passion to Abundance?
Yeah, passion2abundance.com, and it's the number 2.
The number 2, passion, number 2, abundance.com. If you guys are out there thinking about creating a course, well, first sign up with Lightspeed, then reach out to these guys. No, just joking. Well, you're on Lightspeed now, so if you recommended any other, that'd be weird.
That would be.
And plus, you would be dubious. You would be unethical because, as you know, if you're trying to show them to do it right, the only one you can use doing it right is Lightspeed. The reason I say that, because a lot of people say, what do you mean? Well, like let's take any other platform out there that just hosts your video. If you push people to a video and expect them to watch it and that's it, and you charged them, you really don't intend them to learn anything from watching a video, I hope. Because like I watch mixed martial arts, doesn't make me a black belt. You have to, the good content's only a piece of it. You need to drive them to a system, not just a video.
Correct.
And then you need to implement the testing and the tracking and the leaderboards and the community and the resources to where there's a tribe, a community, to where, you know, people are learning off each other, et cetera, to where they actually now can learn and master whatever it is you're teaching. So that's why I say that. A lot of people just think I'm bashing the other ones. I don't really bash the other ones. They're great for what they are. If all you want to do is host a video, you know, hey, I need some spot to host a video. Well, those are good for that. But if you want people to actually learn, Lightspeed. This sounds like a Lightspeed commercial.
It almost,
Shit,
does.
I'm in a zone this morning.
Brad, have you heard of something called UDL, Universal Design for Learning?
No.
Okay, so that's kind of when we
Is that
started.
what they teach at the big colleges?
It was something that was created at Harvard. So one would expect it.
It's called Universal. What's it called?
It's UDL, Universal Design for Learning. So universal design is basically an engineering term. It's like where ramps and why like curbs slope down a little bit, all of that. It's because of universal design. But UDL is specific to learning, curriculums, teachers, that sort of thing. So when we first started mapping out these courses and things, it's funny that you said Lightspeed is, if you're being honest, it's Lightspeed is the one that incorporates all these other aspects, because we base what we create off of 3 principles of UDL that we've kind of interpreted into our online learning space. And part of that is multiple ways to access the material. Part of that is engagement and being able to have that interconnectivity that, to be honest, we didn't have before we actually started utilizing Lightspeed. So there's these other ways, because people learn in different ways.
Yeah.
People absorb content in different ways. And so
people are different.
Right. So one of the biggest things that we like about the Lightspeed platform is that ability to be more interactive in the learning process, which is a huge part of it. So
yeah, well, when you factor that in, you could literally say, I mean, most people don't know how they learn best, but they know how they like to learn. Mm-hmm. And you could literally pop up and say, would you rather, you know, watch it, hear it, or read it?
Right.
Which we did with Think and Grow Rich. But yeah, I agree. You're preaching to the choir here. But I'm like one of those, you know, artists. When people hear me, they're like, you know, oh, he's just saying that because, you know, he's Lightspeed. No, I'm saying it because I went out on the road to try and teach people after quitting a job where I was teaching people successfully, just producing badass after badass after badass. And I thought, dude, I want to do this for a living. So I quit my job and I went out, and for months I couldn't get anyone to actually start becoming a badass. I was saying the same thing. I couldn't figure it out. So I went and said, man, what did I used to do? Well, I said this, and now I'm saying this. And then I realized, well, here I said it like 100 times because I worked there. They showed up every day, and every day I drilled it into their heads. Here I said it once. So I'm like, oh, repetition. That's the difference. And then I said, here I was practicing role playing. Here I was testing them. Here I wasn't. Here I was holding them accountable because I would watch them and make sure that they were actually doing it and correct it. Here I wasn't. So I'm like, let me figure out some sort of technology that allows me to do this on demand. And that's where Lightspeed came from, which is why it's designed to teach people. It's not designed to host a video. The videos are interactive. The testing mechanisms are more elaborate. Anyway, so right now, if someone's listening to this, they could say, hey, I have a kick-ass skill. I'm making good money. What kind of money can somebody make creating courseware and putting shit out there?
So it really just depends on the topic, how big their market is.
Yeah, but that's the technical answer.
Right.
The sales answer is millions.
The sales answer is as much as they want to.
Right.
As much work as they're willing to do.
That's where I was going with that.
You can tell Matt's the technical fella.
He is.
And Robby's more the sales fella, which is funny because my partner, Jason, he's the technical fella. You guys don't use the word fella. You're not old enough. So you are correct, actually. It will break break into those, how big's your market, all that technical shit. But when it boils down to it, dude, I know people nobody knew who they were. They came to me within a year and a half, dude. They were doing $500,000 a month, not a year, a month.
It's massive.
And all it is, do the work.
100%.
Write the course, film the course, edit the course, drop the course in, create the pages, create the copy, drive traffic. That's where these skill sets come into place. They got to build a personal brand. I mean, you're an expert, but your social media has 2 people. I'm sorry, but most people are not going to buy. You're not going to have any ethos, any credibility.
Right.
So you have to start building a personal brand. Well, how do you do that? And then how do you do this? And how do you do that? And then pretty soon people are like, shit, this didn't work. Oh, it works, dude. It works. It's like, opening, an umbrella upside down, turn it the other way. It works fine. But anyway, so you guys are just starting this, obviously, in the last, 6 months?
So we've been coaching in this area for over a year, as far as this particular area. But yeah, the Passion to Abundance program is kind of the culmination of all that we just recently launched.
Nice. So, folks, if you guys are out there listening and you're interested in taking your expertise without any knowledge of doing so, or even a little bit of knowledge, and you want to boost, these gentlemen are your answer. Now, what does something like that cost?
So
let me guess.
I would say it's very underpriced in the marketplace. But without getting into the specific price, I mean, they can go to the website and check it out, but it's very competitive. I mean, it's not.
When you say competitive, how many other people do this?
We've seen a couple people that are online, a couple companies that do something similar, but it's not the same emphasis that
not only that, I've seen a few of those ads. I don't even put those guys in the same ballpark. Why? Well, they're saying make a video, slap it online, and sell it.
Exactly.
That's not the same thing.
And also
by the way, they don't help you create your course and structure your course and figure out all the shit that goes into it.
Right.
From the personal branding to the marketing.
Well, most of them say, here's my software that you can host it in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a little pamphlet to do it, but people underestimate what it actually takes to get it done.
Yeah, from what we've seen, we have the most holistic, complete program out there. That we really wanted to solve all the problems versus just here's how you design a course, or here's how you host videos, or here's how you market your course. Because there's a lot of that out there.
Yeah.
But why hire 5 to 6 different coaches or 5 to 6 different programs where you can come and have an entire map of how to go?
And assistants. You guys coach them and get on Zooms and talk to them. And it's kind of.
Absolutely. And, one of the things we talked about earlier is mindset. That's one of the things we talk about with these guys, because a lot of what's held them back in the past is the clarity and belief that they could actually do this.
It also stops them.
It does.
Because a lot of people start, but they never finish.
And paralysis by analysis kills more of them than not.
If you guys are wanting to follow these cats, you got Matthew. Is that a dot?
Yeah.
Matthew 2 T's dot Coots Coots and Robby D'Angelo. Just looks like it says D'Angelo.
But it's missing that apostrophe. You can't really put that on social media.
Yeah, you can't put the apostrophe. So it's just Robby D'Angelo, just like it sounds. Angelo. Website 4dggrowthgroup.com. Or if you guys are interested in making a course, go to Passion, the number 2, Abundance. I know you guys have flights today, flights out. So if anyone listening feels like they know somebody that is an expert, they're good at what they do, and you want to share this, forward this episode to people. Because here's what I'll leave you guys with. I've been doing it 21 years, and I can tell you without fear of contradiction and with perfect certainty. You like the way I put that? Anyone can make a lot of money, recurring revenue, sleeping in their bed or fishing or doing whatever they actually love to do more of. It takes time, takes work, but anyone in any industry can do it with, believe it or not, relatively light amount of work based on the ROI, based on the return. And more importantly, I think you should highly consider it, because your knowledge could help 1,000 people even long after you're gone. So I hope you guys understand one thing. You guys all have your own knowledge. Y'all have your own gifts. Y'all have your own internal expertise. When I approach somebody, I always think to myself, they know something I don't. And that's why I always talk to them differently. There's a scripture I saw the other day, Hebrews 13:2. Hebrews 13:2. Go look it up. I won't even tell you what it says. Just go look that shit up. Hey, and forward this episode out to as many people as you can. You guys, appreciate you guys coming in.
Absolutely.
Where do you live naturally? I mean, normally.
So we're from Tampa.
Tampa, Florida. So you guys got a long flight home.
A little bit.
Folks, go follow these guys. Share this episode out. And as always, keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Bradley. Subscribe now.